Hey, welcome to TK's Tech Corner. This channel is for all things techie for the average user. So for today's tech, we're going to look at a travel router. This router is the GLiNet Slate AX. This router is packed with a bunch of features. But you may be wondering, what is a travel router? Well, the use case scenario for a travel router is to connect network devices such as your phone, your computer, tablet, and connect those devices to a public network. Public network is a network that you may find in a hotel or a cafe, anywhere where you're connecting to the internet and there are other users that you don't know that are on the same network as you. So what's the benefit of using a travel router? The benefits of using a travel router is that it adds a level of security for all the devices that are connected to it. It prevents unauthorized access to your devices. One of the ways that it does this is using it as a firewall. Firewall protects you against unwanted attacks from other users that are on a public network. Another way a travel router is used is that you can use a VPN client that runs on the router that provides a secure connection, point-to-point connection between your device and the servers that you are accessing, websites and different things like that. Another thing that it also provides, this router provides is AppGuard. AppGuard protects you while you're surfing the net and allows you to avoid like pop-ups and avoid websites from tracking you using cookies and different things like that. But for our case scenario, why I use a travel router is for live streaming, and particularly mobile live streaming. But before we jump into that, let's just take a look at this router. So the router is here. Comes in this packaging. Like I said, it's the GLiNet Slate AX. It is a Wi-Fi 6 wireless router. And the ports, this is it. It's very compact, portable router compared to a router that you will have in your home. Ports that are on here, right here, you'll see the power cable. This power cable is USB-C power cable. It's a 5-volt, 4-amp power supply. Next to that, you have the USB 3.0 port. And next to that, you have 2 LAN ports, and then you have a WAN port. So what are these ports used for? So obviously the USB-C port is used for power. It does come with a power brick that has to be plugged into a wall outlet. It may also be able to be powered by a power bank, which I have not tried yet, because most power banks are 5 volts and about 2.4. I did see a couple of them that have 5 volt 3 amps that may be capable with this router. But the next port that you have on this router is the USB 3.0 port. This port is used to connect USB modems. And the modem that I actually use with this router, travel router, is the Inseego USB mobile router. Modem, sorry. Mobile modem. And I'm actually able to plug this modem into the back of the router and to use a 4G connection with this router. The next port on this router are the 2 LAN ports. This is for connecting a hard wire to maybe a computer or any other device that you may have that has a Ethernet connection on it. I actually use that Ethernet connection, one of those ports, for my live streaming setup. Basically my streaming box, which is actually the YOLO Box Pro. And the next port on that is, after that, is the WAN port. That's basically for connecting a hard line connection, either at, like I said, either at your home or hotel, wherever there is a hard line connection. You can use that port to bring in internet to this router. So what do I use this router for? I use this router for, like I said, for mobile live streaming. And you may question and ask, why don't you just use like a mobile hotspot to gain access, for internet access? Mobile hotspots are good for getting an internet connection to devices that are nearby. But if you take a look at this router here, it actually has antennas. If I can get it to focus, antennas that flip up on it. And like I said, this router is actually Wi-Fi 6. And what this does for your devices, it gives you a greater range of connection as you move further away from the router. With mobile hotspots, you tend to lose your connection the further you move away. But I was actually able to use this router here in my 2-story home, and I was able to keep a decent connection from the upstairs to the downstairs, and this was going through walls. Now, in normal use case scenario as using it for live streaming, I would not recommend using this router through walls. It's better used for a line of sight. But you would definitely see an improvement from using a mobile hotspot compared to this mobile router. Now, to use a mobile hotspot, if you have a mobile hotspot that has a USB tethering capability on it, you can actually take that USB cable that's coming from your mobile hotspot and plug it into the USB 3.0 jack on this mobile router to give this router the internet access that's coming from your mobile hotspot. It's basically the same instance of me using this Inseego mobile USB modem. So what I want to do is I want to have us take a look at the programming panel for this router. So I'm gonna log into my router real quick, and I'm gonna allow you guys to see the administration panel. All right, let's see if we can get this to load. Okay, here we go. So right now we're looking at the GLiNet administrative panel. So what you would notice on this page that you're looking at, you see the diagram at the top. On the left hand side, it shows you all your different connections. You have Ethernet, you have repeater, you have tethering, and you have cellular. Ethernet is just what it says. That would be a hard line connection into the WAN port of the router. And you would notice on mine, you see the repeater is the next highlighted icon. You will see that icon is highlighted because it is showing that it has a connection. Right now I have this router connected to the wireless network at my home right now. So it's actually using the internet from my home router, and it's using it to produce another network of its own and to give me access to the internet. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to plug my Inseego modem into the back of the router, and after I do that, you will see the tethering icon, which is the next icon. It would light up as soon as I gain connection with this modem. So we're going to give it about a couple seconds right now. It has to load up. All right, so I just got a green light on my USB modem, and let's give a refresh to the panel. And we just did a refresh, and now we see that the tethering is now connected. Now on the bottom, you'll see that there is a icon for cellular. This modem does not have a cellular modem in it, so you will not be able to use that feature on this particular modem. But if you take a look at the right hand side of this diagram, you will see that it shows all our LAN connections, and all our LAN connection, also our WAN connections. You see I have one device connected that right now is my iPad, which you are viewing this off of. So if we scroll down, we'll see that the first network, which is the repeater function, which is basically this router being connected in Wi-Fi mode, acting as a repeater for my home network. That's the first connection. And then the second connection you see is the tethering. That is the USB modem plugged into the back of this travel router. And the next one you will see is the Ethernet, and once again the cellular, which we don't have available for this particular router. It does not have a built-in modem. But if we look at the left-hand side of all of this, we see we have the wireless connections. This is how you set all your different parameters. So once again, this router is an excellent addition to any live stream setup because it gives you a much further range when it comes to your wireless devices being connected to your live stream setup. This can be NDI cameras, which I actually use. I have a couple of Mevo starts that I use to connect wireless to this router, and I actually run a program on my iPad that outputs the video output through the HDMI connection adapter for the iPad, and it inputs it into my YOLOBox Pro. So I'm able to use that feed as extra cameras for my live stream setup. So like I said, with this router, you can't go wrong with it as using it for a live stream setup. It gives you a lot of flexibility. It gives you a greater range to add to, a mobile hotspot that you may have. And it also gives you the ability to hook in more devices to your network wirelessly, and also to incorporate your wired devices also. So I can't say it enough that this is a piece of my live stream setup that I am well pleased with the purchase. So that's all for today's video. Until next time, hope to see you all here with more techie gear for the average user. Until next time.